John Murphy and Steve Tasker here until 3. The show moves along here. We got a full hour coming up, and we got a new guest coming up just off the practice field. Happy to have Bill Center Mitch Morse in studio with us. This is a big-time show, Mitch. We have Doug. We just had
I
Doug
just
Flutie.
saw that. That's Doug Flutie. That's pretty cool, man.
You know who Doug Flutie is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Legend.
I'm laughing. You're come walking in. You got tape on like 4 fingers all over on 2 hands, right?
That's what it's all about, man.
That's kind of the way it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially once you hit training camp, every finger that you've ever had injured comes back. And
Murph gets mad at me when I bring it up, but that team is incredibly healthy for this time of year. Ty and Secchi, Ty's, yeah, right? Ty's the
That's why I
only
get
guy
mad.
that's
I don't
healthy.
want to jinx
Yeah.
it.
Right.
What we talk about really has nothing to do with what's going on. But it's really a testament to the program, to the culture, to the guys taking care of themselves, having something inside the locker room, the facilities,
Absolutely.
the staff, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a collective effort, right? And it's what coach put us in a position where we get quality reps, but he's not going to run us into the dirt yet still get competitive practices. We have a training staff that's maybe the best in the NFL, and we have resources that just aren't everywhere. I mean, these recovery rooms and this stuff, and then it's part of it's just taking onus on yourself to be professional. And the truth of the matter is a little bit. It's just circumstantial happenstance.
Right.
Some things you can't avoid, but everything that's controllable, these people and everyone around here does a great job.
Yeah, it's funny because you never control. I mean, you can't keep somebody from accidentally rolling up behind you,
No doubt.
or running back getting
Exactly.
blind, caught from behind by, whatever. It's so many quirky things happen, and yet, here you stand. You got one guy on the injury list, and you're in week 14 of the season.
Right.
It's got something's up, but
For sure.
Yeah, but let's not question it too much.
It's rare in the NFL, and we're thankful for it.
Mitch Morse, our guest, Bill Center. Hey, we talk about, obviously, the team every day here. There's an interesting analysis piece, Sharp Football Analysis wrote a thing. I was reading it this morning, the tale of 2 seasons for Josh Allen and the Bills offense. I think they're talking about the last 3 games, and you guys have 3 straight wins now. I almost feel like it's overstated, though. It wasn't as if things changed automatically in the Miami games, right? A couple weeks ago?
No, I think it's just later on in the season. We've all played we've all played more together collectively as a unit. We're figuring out our identity, and that evolves throughout the season. We still have our core, what we know works for us, but at the same time figuring out what really works for us as a total, as a group. So, no, I think things are clicking. But if you ask everyone in here, we still have a lot of work to do.
Well, how much of it is you play no huddle, but it's not like an real up-tempo, fast-paced no huddle. But what does that do for you?
No, it puts everyone in position to. Well, first of all, you can only run so many plays out of it, right? So the game plans kind of shrinks just a little bit, even if it's just for yourself. You understand what can happen on what hash and whatnot, and then the communication's condensed, and we've practiced that, and we've done it enough now that we can kind of use the less verbiage to communicate just as much as we used to.
And it's 11 personnel, like 75% of the time,
right?
Which has got to be simpler, got to be condensed, I would think too, huh?
What you do is you kind of know what personnel they might be in. Especially like a team where they have a Rolodex of different defenses, it could condense it just a little bit. You know what I mean? But defenses are ever changing, and they'll catch on, and we'll have to adjust. Half this game, Steve, is just making sideline adjustments.
Right.
And I think our coaches have been doing a great job of that, and that's maybe another part of what's going on.
That's what I was going to ask you, is that when you do go to that no huddle and they do have to come out and line up, at least show something.
Sure.
Maybe it simplifies it a little bit for them. The Baltimore team is a really multiple defense. They show all kinds of fronts. They got a big, deep playbook on that side of the football. Is there any way to get them to maybe throw half of that out if you go no huddle?
Yeah, that's a great question. They are so multiple, and they're very fundamentally sound in what they do, and they'll throw a lot at you. And they, kind of much like the Patriots, they have kind of a flavor of the week that they'll throw a defense out that maybe you haven't seen before. So I can't speak for the fact that who knows, but it does give us a chance to at least get everyone lined up. And the defense they do line up, they have to line up a little earlier, so it gives us time to communicate. So, I say this now, but who knows?
Right.
You mentioned the in-game adjustments, sideline adjustments on both sides of the ball. I think this Bills team has done a really good job with that this year. In other words, even defense, Bills defense, they give up a long scoring drive to Dallas last Thursday, and things changed after that.
Sure.
You can't wait till halftime to make changes, right?
Right. Well, I think it also speaks to resiliency of this team. We've been down big, and we've been up a few scores, and the sidelines just kind of even keeled. You know what I mean? Kind of silent but deadly, and the fact that we understand that if we're up, that we can't give teams the opportunity because this is the NFL. You know what I mean? Any team can beat you on any given day, and especially these fundamentally sound teams that we're going to play in these next few games. And if we're down, we know what works for us. We know that we've prepared and we've had competitive practices, and just don't panic and don't be outside yourself, which is when guys get in trouble.
Did you hear the stat that makes this game unique in NFL history?
No doubt, probably haven't.
The two quarterbacks have rushed combined for more yards than any quarterbacks who faced each other in NFL history.
That's remarkable.
It is,
That's-
right?
I mean,
Lamar's got 900 and
Right.
something of them, and Josh has got 300 or
Right.
400 of them. So
500, didn't he?
500, yeah, it's a ton.
It's two very talented quarterbacks that can extend plays with their legs, and very fortunate to have one of them here. And you see, Lamar Jackson speaks for himself, and he's very talented, and it'll be a great challenge for us.
What do you like about the playing this game at home, where you guys have had some success this year, and knowing now that the weather's a factor? It will be, you would think.
Sure, I think you just have the home crowd with you. This is a special place to play with the Bills Mafia around you, and just the Bills fan group in this town. And silent count is not so much a factor as it would be so able to communicate a little bit better. And I'm sure the Ravens fans will travel well, but there's something to being home and kind of having that crowd around you, and especially in the defense, to have that crowd noise just affecting their offense a little bit.
You are playing a defense that's really been effective, really good against top five, top six against the run in the NFL. What make you said they were fundamentally sound? Give us a
Very much
little
so.
more in depth about what that looks like.
Well, I think you look at the Baltimore Ravens franchise the last few decades, that defense has been a staple of that organization. And they're coached really well, and they have the players that are just good football players that play hard and then have that kind of, that whole AFC North kind of plays with a little chip on their shoulder, a little kind of head smashing football, and the Baltimore Ravens exemplify that. And for us, it'll be matching that competitive nature and intensity.
Mitch, you come here to Buffalo after 4 years in Kansas City, where they are accustomed to big games late in the season. Fans here are not accustomed to that. We look, 23 years since the last time two teams with these records have played this late in the season. This is December football, meaningful games is kind of what it's all about in the league, isn't it?
No doubt, and understanding that this is a big game, but if you overthink it and you make it too big of a game, you're going to play outside yourself. And I think the thing that I was able to do these last 4 years is learn that when you just be yourself, understand what works, what got you here. Even though we do have an extremely difficult schedule in this last quarter of the season, just understand that we got a good group of dudes here, and we don't need to do anything outside of the norm.
Yeah, you won 9 already.
That was it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you don't have to do anything special. You're special for being there, and that's
For sure.
If you play your game, it'll be good enough.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for this, Mitch. Stay healthy, and we'll see you again. Thanks
I
very much.
appreciate you guys.
Good
Thank you
seeing you,
very
man.
much.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you
Mitch
so
Morse,
much.
Bills Center, joining us. We're going to take a break. We're coming back with more One Bills Live, presented by Colada Health from the Seneca Studio in Orchard Park. This is Buffalo Bills Radio.